Let me ask you a quick question. What's the first thing you reach for in the morning? For most of my patients, especially those over 60, the answer is simple: coffee. It's how we start our day. It's comfort. It's ritual. And for many, it's the last little vice we cling to with pride. I get it. I drink coffee too. But what I'm about to share with you might just change how you think about that daily brew, because for some folks, especially as we age, that beloved cup of joe could be quietly working against your health. Let me tell you about someone I see regularly, Bill, 71, retired carpenter, still sharp with his hands and sharper with his wit. He walked into my office one morning rubbing his knees and said, "Doc, either these chairs are getting lower or I'm getting older." Turns out, it wasn't the chairs. Bill had been struggling with knee stiffness, leg fatigue, and swelling in his ankles. His labs were clean. No major red flags. He was eating better than most, walking every day, and staying on top of his meds. But something didn't add up. So I asked him to walk me through his morning routine. "Well," he said, "I get up around 6, start the coffee pot, strong, always strong, and sip while I read the paper. Usually a couple cups before breakfast. Sometimes another after lunch." That's when a light bulb went off. You see, most people don't realize coffee isn't a one-size-fits-all health drink, especially not after 60. While a cup or two might be harmless or even beneficial for some, certain types of coffee can actually increase joint inflammation, disrupt sleep, and quietly worsen blood pressure or blood sugar control. Let's break down the 4 worst types of coffee for seniors, coffees that I strongly advise my patients to either avoid or modify. 1. Dark roast coffee, especially on an empty stomach. Dark roasts are often marketed as stronger, but that's not exactly true. They're lower in caffeine than light roasts, but they're more acidic, and that acidity can irritate the stomach lining, trigger acid reflux, and subtly worsen joint inflammation. If you're over 60 and drinking a strong, dark cup first thing in the morning before eating, you could be setting yourself up for discomfort before your day even begins. 2. Flavored or sweetened coffees. I'm looking at the hazelnut vanilla caramel swirl crowd here. These flavored brews often come with added syrups or artificial flavorings that spike your blood sugar and, over time, can contribute to insulin resistance. For seniors trying to manage weight, blood sugar, or inflammation, this is a hidden saboteur. 3. Coffee with non-dairy creamers. A lot of my patients use powdered creamers, assuming they're healthier or more convenient. What they don't realize is these are often packed with hydrogenated oils, preservatives, and phosphates, all of which can raise inflammation and put added stress on aging kidneys. 4. Coffee after 2 p.m. You may feel like it doesn't affect your sleep, but that late afternoon cup could be disrupting your deep sleep stages, even if you fall asleep just fine. Poor sleep means slower recovery, higher cortisol, the stress hormone, and less muscle repair overnight. That all adds up over time. So what's a coffee-loving senior supposed to do? Quit coffee? Not necessarily. Here's what I recommend instead, for better choices that give you the benefits without the common downsides. 1. Light roast coffee with a meal. Lighter roasts are less acidic and contain more polyphenol, antioxidants that support brain and heart health. Sipping your coffee with breakfast can buffer its acidity and reduce stomach irritation. 2. Black coffee with cinnamon. Adding cinnamon, just a pinch, helps regulate blood sugar and gives your brew a nice depth without sugar. It's a small shift that makes a big metabolic difference. 3. Mushroom coffee blends. These may sound trendy, but I've been recommending them for years. Reishi, lion's mane, and cordyceps mushrooms support brain health, immune function, and even joint resilience. They come in instant or brewed options and often contain less caffeine. 4. Decaf cold brew, especially in the afternoon. Cold brew is smoother and less acidic than traditional coffee. Choosing decaf in the afternoon gives you the comforting ritual of coffee without disturbing your sleep cycle. When I had Bill cut back on his dark roast and swap in a light roast with breakfast, his sleep improved. After a few weeks, he said, "Doc, I didn't realize how tight my legs were every morning, until they weren't." We'll dive even deeper in the next part, where I talk about how everyday foods you've always thought were healthy, like certain fruits, could be increasing your leg stiffness, joint pain, and even balance problems. Because when it comes to aging well, small changes lead to big wins. I'll never forget the conversation I had with Joseph, 67, retired school principal, always dressed like he was still on duty, always sharp. He came in one day and said something that stuck with me. "Doc, I feel like I'm running out of gas by lunchtime, but I can't sleep through the night either. Coffee's the only thing keeping me upright." That got my attention. Like many of my patients, Joseph relied on coffee not just as a morning ritual, but as a survival tool. Morning cup, mid-morning refill, maybe a third one around 3 or 4 p.m. just to push through the slump. Sound familiar? Here's the thing, we often think of coffee as the magic fuel that keeps us going. And yes, it can help, but for older adults, it can also quietly steal energy, damage sleep, worsen joint pain, and even sabotage blood sugar. Let me walk you through 4 more common coffee habits I regularly caution my senior patients about, and show you how to shift them for better strength, sleep, and stability. Drinking coffee on an empty stomach. This one's widespread. You wake up, maybe take your meds, and then, coffee. No food, no buffer. The problem is, when coffee hits an empty stomach, it spikes cortisol, your stress hormone. This triggers a blood sugar surge, followed by a crash. Over time, this pattern increases inflammation, messes with your hunger cues, and can even worsen insulin resistance, especially dangerous if you're managing prediabetes or type 2 diabetes. Fix it. Pair your coffee with food, ideally something with protein and healthy fat. Even a boiled egg or a small bowl of oats with nuts helps buffer that spike. Using sweetened creamers or sugar-free flavors. I know the hazelnut swirl or French vanilla creamer makes coffee taste great. But these are often loaded with artificial sweeteners, hydrogenated oils, and phosphates, all of which contribute to inflammation and strain your kidneys. Even the sugar-free versions aren't innocent. Many use artificial sweeteners like sucralose or aspartame, which can disrupt gut health and may worsen blood sugar control over time. Fix it. Try a splash of unsweetened almond milk, oat milk, or a teaspoon of heavy cream if tolerated. Add a pinch of cinnamon or a drop of vanilla extract for flavor without the junk. Drinking coffee too late in the day. Here's a common line: caffeine doesn't affect me. I sleep just fine. But I challenge that. Because what I've seen, especially in my patients over 60, is not trouble falling asleep, it's disrupted deep sleep. As we age, deep sleep is already harder to come by. Caffeine lingers in the system for up to 10 hours, and even small amounts in the afternoon can block the body's natural ability to fully rest. That shallow sleep means less muscle recovery, more inflammation, and greater fatigue the next day. Fix it. Stick to decaf or herbal coffee substitutes after 2 p.m. If you need a boost, try green tea or mushroom coffee blends with lower caffeine levels and calming adaptogens. Relying on coffee instead of hydration. Coffee is a diuretic, meaning it can increase fluid loss. For younger folks with fast metabolisms, that's no big deal. But for seniors, especially those prone to muscle cramps or kidney stress, dehydration is a real risk. I've had patients come in with fatigue, joint stiffness, and even headaches, thinking it was age, only to realize they were chronically underhydrated and overcaffeinated. Fix it. Follow a coffee sandwich rule. For every cup of coffee, drink a glass of water before and after. Consider adding a pinch of sea salt or a slice of cucumber to support electrolytes. Bonus: the decaf dilemma. Now, before you switch to decaf and call it a day, a word of caution. Not all decaf is created equal. Many decaf coffees are processed using harsh chemical solvents like methylene chloride, which can leave trace residues and may contribute to inflammation or digestive discomfort, especially in older adults with slower detox pathways. Fix it. Look for Swiss water processed or CO2 processed decaf. These methods are gentler, use no chemicals, and preserve more of the beneficial antioxidants found in coffee. So where does this leave us? If you're over 60, it's not about giving up coffee, it's about drinking it smarter. Your body is more sensitive now. Your joints, your sleep, your muscles, they're all more reactive to what you feed and fuel them with. I tell my patients this all the time: the right coffee can boost circulation, protect the brain, and even improve longevity. But the wrong coffee, or just bad timing, can slowly drain the very strength you're trying to preserve. Joseph took the advice. Switched to a lighter roast. Ate a protein-rich breakfast before coffee. Dropped his afternoon cup for a calming turmeric tea. 2 weeks later, he told me, "I didn't cut coffee, I just made it work for me. And now, I've got energy without the crashes." That's the goal. By now, you've probably realized that your daily coffee habit isn't just about taste or tradition, it's a decision that can either help or hurt your health, especially after 60. But here's the good news: you don't need to quit coffee. You just need to treat it like the powerful tool it is. Start by avoiding the worst offenders, those overly acidic dark roasts on an empty stomach, sugary creamers, or late afternoon jolts that rob you of deep sleep. These small shifts can ease joint pain, reduce inflammation, and support steadier energy throughout the day. Then, focus on building better habits. Enjoy light roast coffee with breakfast. Add cinnamon for blood sugar control. Switch to Swiss water processed decaf in the afternoon. Stay hydrated. And listen to your body, it'll tell you what's working. But coffee is only part of the picture. To age with strength and independence, fueling your muscles and joints is just as important. That's where timing your protein, especially slow-digesting options like cottage cheese at night, can make a real difference. It's one of the simplest ways to reduce muscle loss, improve recovery, and wake up feeling more stable and refreshed. So here's my message to you. You're not too old. You're not too late. And the way you feel today is not the way you have to feel tomorrow. Small choices, about coffee, food, sleep, become powerful over time. Don't wait for a major health scare. Make the changes now, while you're still in charge. You've got more control than you think. Use it. And if this helped you, pass it on. Someone you care about might still be sipping the wrong cup.